Let's talk about Prakash Industries and the big turnaround that is expected in the next few years. So, what is Prakash Industries, what it does, and what's the management view given and the guidance given? So, if you look at Prakash Industries, it has mainly the steel, PVC, which is the pipe business, and the power business. The steel contributes about 73% of their revenues and has a lesser margin of about just 4%. Its PVC pipe business contributes about 10% of the revenues and has 10% margins also. And as a power production, which gives around 18% revenues, which is at 50% margins. If you look at this, they have a current capacity of 1 million tons per annum, and they look to increase it to about 1.2 million ton per annum after installing the sixth kiln, which will be installed in September 2018. Their current capacity is also 80%. They expect full capacity within the next quarter, and their guidance is increased, provided by management has said they would reach about 3 million tons per annum in the next 5 years. So that's like a threefold growth in the next 5 years. If you focus on Prakash Industries and their release yesterday, press note, they've actually paid back debt further. They've reduced their debt further, and also they've said they're seeing a high growth in their PVC pipes division also. If you look at the what is there to look forward to in the next few years from Prakash Industries, their focus has been on reducing debt, which is reduced from 980 to 540 crores. Also, they've unpledged a lot of shares that were pledged by promoters. So this shows that they have like a good cash flow because they are repaying debt and unpledging shares. They also look to demerge the pipe business, which will increase and unlock great value, which is about 1,000 crore business in itself, where the market cap is only 3,300 crores. If you look at the current state of the steel industry, Tata Steel put a bid on Bhushan Steel for around 35,000 crores, and Bhushan Steel's capacity is around 5.6 million tons per annum. So it works out to roughly around 6,200 crore value for per metric ton. So if you look at Prakash's capacity, it's about 1.2 metric ton by September 2018. And if you take into consideration the value that Tata Steel paid for Bhushan Steel, then it works out, the value of Prakash Industries actually works out about 7,000 crores only on the steel business, while currently its market cap is only 3,200 crores. So I think there's a lot of undervaluation in Prakash Industries, which can take it to a greater level in share price. Three things to consider is one is the steel industry. So if you look at the steel industry, the government released in May 2017 released the steel policy in India. So that gave a lot of benefits, and we've been seeing the last 2 years the government policies have been towards enhancing the steel industry in India. They've been raising import duties. They've been curbing anti-dumping. They've been anti-dumping policies on steel from China. So that gives a lot of enhancement to the steel industry in India, and companies like Prakash and Tata Steel and other companies would gain from such policies. If you look at the positives of the steel industry and Prakash Industries also, the input cost has been actually factored into steel because the input cost has been rising, but the sponge iron prices also have increased from about 12,000 to 13,000 tons. Now it's a year ago about 19,000, 18, 19,000 tons. So the price has also increased, and also because of the input cost has been actually factored into the price. If you also see, there are two things that either use graphite electrodes or coal. Prakash Industries uses coal for its manufacturing of steel, and that was one consideration that came up when they lost a coal block. Next is the next positive actually demerger of PVC business that I spoke about, which will unlock value and will release greater shareholder wealth actually. Prakash Industries worked towards two things. One was its coal block was cancelled and they had to pay penalty when they were caught in the shell company scam, and that impacted the entire business in 2015. But now they've arranged some coal linkages, and the total cost saving for them would be around 100 crores. So that's a huge amount of saving on the input cost and guarantees them input raw material also for production. They've also got approval of one mine in iron ore mine in 2018, and they uh, to get another approval in April 2019. So these will actually complete Prakash's requirement on iron ore for production, and will also bring a cost saving of around 1400 per ton once these mines are commissioned. So that increases the margins tremendously, and we would see uh, profit for Prakash. Another thing is that China is closing down excess steel capacity, so that will create a demand for steel from India. Another thing is they reduced debt, like I mentioned, which is a huge positive sign for the company, which is the manner in which they've been able to repay debt as well as show good profits in the last 2 years. The risks associated with Prakash is one is corporate governance. The management has often been caught on the wrong side of the law. There have been shell companies, Benami transactions, lots of things have been come up, and the share price has been factored. I think factored all that in. I think now, I think they've probably learned their lesson, and probably we could see a better governance from them and better uh, overall management of the company. Another thing is the environmental risk. Prakash actually uses coal, whereas other companies use graphite electrodes for production. So any carbon environmental concerns if using coal for production will hamper Prakash Industries. If you look at the financials, Prakash Industries is growing at like a good rate from 2006 to 2013, 14, and then it was hit by a lot of scams, a lot of penalties they needed to pay because of the shell company cancellation of coal block. You should see its profit rate really went down in 2015, but since then I think it's been on the rise. 2016, 17, I think now this result in May 2018 would show like really good results, and you would see their profit is increasing. They've been paying their and one thing to note is their operating margin also is, in the last 2 years has increased from 10 to 19%, and they expect 25% operating margins in the next year. That's the guidance given by the company. So it looks like overall it's they've taken the company to the next level. If you look, as I discussed, the market close just 3,200 crores. Its sales is around 2,700 crores. So there's it's hardly anything. I mean, they generate sales of around their market cap. It's like a huge undervaluation of their stock. Also, the EPS has grown from 1.74 last 2 years back to will be around 15 for this year. So, taking into consideration all these factors, I see the price of 400 to 500 being easily achievable in Prakash Industries in the next uh, 2 years. So, thank you. This is only for educational purposes. I'm not a SEBI registered analyst. The money and both the risk are both yours. Consult an advisor before investing. Thank you.